patience. All right, at California State University, Long Beach, our financial aid and scholarships office is dedicated to helping students navigate their financial aid options. We determine the eligibility, coordinate federal, state, and institutional awards, disperse aid to student accounts, and ensure compliance with all regulatory requirements. Our goal is to make higher education accessible and affordable for all students. How to apply for financial aid. So applying for financial aid is pretty straightforward. Students can submit either the free application for federal student aid, otherwise known as a FAFSA, or the California Dream Act application, otherwise known as a CADA. U.S. citizens and eligible non-citizens should complete the FAFSA, while undocumented AB 540 eligible DACA or other qualifying visa status students should complete the CADA application. Remember, the application is determined by the student status and not the parents. Financial aid deadlines. Typically, both applications open on October 1st of the prior year. However, due to recent delays, the 25-26 FAFSA and CADA applications opened on December 1st of 2024. The priority deadline was April 2nd, but we do encourage everyone to still submit their applications to maximize their financial aid opportunities. So the typical financial aid process. The financial aid process involves several steps. Students and/or parents complete the application. The financial aid office reviews the application and may request additional information. Student and/or parents submit any necessary documentation. Financial aid uses the application and documentation to determine the eligibility. Financial aid then sends the award to the students. So now for the different types of financial aid, there's various types of financial aid available, including state awards like the Cal Grant and Middle Class Scholarship. Students can track their state aid status using the Web Grants for Students. It's crucial to ensure that the CSULB school code 001139 is selected as a student school of choice for the award to appear on our roster. So here we have the school code listed and also Web Grants website where you can go ahead and track your eligibility for such state awards. For Federal Work Study. So Federal Work Study is a self-help financial aid program. It's not a grant. To participate, students must check their eligibility, accept the Federal Work Study award, find a job using the CareerLink app, and earn their award through the biweekly or monthly wages. It's important to note that there are non-federal work study jobs available, more than federal work study jobs.
Hello?
And eligibility and acceptance do not guarantee a job. For scholarships, beach scholarships opportunity for the fall 2025 are now over, but our scholarship website is the best source of information for future opportunities. The application windows and award disbursement timelines vary by semester, so be sure to check the website regularly to stay on track. For the cost of attendance, the estimated budgets are determined using actual educational expenses reported by the students. We have 3 categories based on housing status, commuter with parent, off-campus, and on-campus. Each budget is adjusted for the California resident and non-resident fee costs. For enrollment and financial aid is awarded based on full-time enrollment, which would be 12-unit minimum. Many aid programs, including the federal Pell Grant, are based on enrollment levels. It is important to be mindful of enrollment and eligibility for financial aid, as enrolling in less than full-time can impact financial aid, but not always a charge tuition and fees. And here we have some examples. So how do we communicate to parents? We primarily communicate with parents via email and their CSULB portal. If we request documentation, it's essential for determining eligibility. Please encourage your students to stay alert for communications from our office and keep up to date with requests. Additionally, due to Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974, we generally only share educational records with students. However, students can grant parents access through My CSULB Student Center. We can also email parents regarding the direct Parent Plus loans if necessary. So in short form, we cannot communicate directly with the parents. It's primary student communication. So it's important to check Outlook. What we want every student to know. We want every student to know the importance of submitting their FAFSA/CADA application, staying alert for communication from the financial aid office, submitting any requested documentation, and being mindful of enrollment and eligibility for financial aid. Applying for financial aid is an annual process, and responding promptly to requests ensures timely disbursement. So again, it's important to stay on track with emails. If you have any questions, please contact our office. You can reach us by phone, online, through the Ask LB chatbot, or in person at the intake windows on the first floor of Brotman Hall. Students can also make appointments with a financial aid counselor through the Beach Connect mobile app. So yes, we're very available and open to assist students. Thank you so much. And now, thank you for your attention. We'll now answer any questions from the Q&A. Riley, can you please read some of the questions from the audience?
Thank you, Dilly. We actually do not have any current questions from the audience. So if there are any questions, please submit them through the Q&A. I know we went over a lot of details, but if you have any questions about specific aid types or the financial aid process, please do so in the Q&A. One question coming through the chat. How many units need to be taken to receive the unsubsidized loans?
For unsubsidized loans, you must be enrolled in a minimum of half-time status. So that would be for an undergraduate student, 6 units. So you want to make sure you're enrolled in at least 6 units to qualify for a disbursement of the loan.
Thank you. We have another question in the chat. Is grant eligibility based on parental income, or can you speak more to how we determined the eligibility for need-based aid?
Yes, so if you are a dependent student, which is categorized by the FAFSA, so it basically predetermines whether or not you fall into the dependent versus independent option based off of a series of 10 questions. It might ring a bell pertaining to your marital status, if you served in the armed forces, etc. So based off the series of 10 questions, if you answer no, you're automatically determined to be a dependent student. Consequently, the financial aid eligibility would then be based off of primarily parental information provided, tax information, household, etc. It's a very holistic view, but of course, the emphasis would be on the dependency status.
Thank you. What steps are needed to accept a loan? Are there any other requirements that students need to accept?
Yes, that's a great question. So in addition to accepting the award and ensuring that you're enrolled at the minimum of part-time, you're then going to go on to studentaid.gov and you're going to complete 2 items. So one of them is called a master promissory note, and it is the contractual agreement to repay the loan and basically ensuring your agreement to repay the debt that you borrowed. Additionally, you're also going to complete a loan entrance counseling. So the loan entrance counseling basically regurgitates all the information pertaining to the loan that's already readily available on the studentaid.gov website, and it gives you a mini quiz of sorts. And so you complete that, and once both items are completed, the institution, California, which in this case, if you're attending CSULB, will receive the information within 24 to 48 hours, and that will then prompt the disbursement of the loan to occur.
Thank you. We have another question. Can I still receive federal work study if it was not offered on my current financial aid package?
Great question. You cannot accept the federal work study if it has not been offered to you. It's a source of financial aid that is is contingent upon you being offered and eligible for the federal work study award. But as mentioned, there are tons of other non-federal work study based jobs on campus available if you are not eligible for federal work study.
Thank you. The next question is, are there any deadlines? What is the June 30th deadline? And what happens if we miss any FAFSA deadlines?
Yes, of course. So the June 30th deadline is just the final deadline where you can submit your financial aid just in general. So definitely you want to ensure that you submit your financial aid application every year well before then, in case any additional information is being requested from you or there's any additional action taken. And it's most important to ensure that you're also keeping track of the priority deadlines year to year. So the sooner you get that FAFSA in, the better. So make sure to mark your calendars. Historically, the FAFSA, as I mentioned, has opened October 1st of every year. So just make sure that you're ensuring that you check and that you're submitting the application as soon as possible.
Thank you, Dillian. Just to clarify, that June 30th deadline for the 25-26 cycle is June 30th of 2026, not this June 30th coming up in a couple weeks.
Thank you, Riley.
One question, if a loan is accepted, how do we pay it back? Can we pay it back at any time? And when do we accept loans?
Yeah, so you can accept the loan through the academic year. I believe there are restraints depending on if you're fall and spring, or time constraints if you're only here for one semester or two semesters. And it has to do with like the enrollment. So once enrollment ceases, you at that point you can no longer accept slash decline the award. And I'm sorry, can you repeat the question one more time?
Sure. When do we accept loans? Do we accept them before they enroll in classes, or do they have to be enrolled before accepting loans?
You can certainly accept them before, especially if you do not have any other resources to pay for the tuition fee and all the other fees. So you can accept before enrollment. And the disbursement typically takes place about 10 business days prior to the start of the term.
Thank you. We don't have any new questions. Actually, one question just came in. What do we need to do to be considered for Cal Grant or the Middle Class Scholarship?
To be considered, you want to make sure that you have created a web grant account. So you're going to go to csac.ca.gov and make sure that you have an account. Secondarily, you want to make sure that you've added our school code. So I'm going to go back to the slide where we have that information readily available. So feel free to screenshot and have it saved. Oh, here we go. Sorry. So the California Student Aid Commission, so you want to make sure that you're submitting your eligibility and then, sorry, not submitting your eligibility, that you have a profile set up and everything is up to date. Typically, if there's any further action that the state is requiring from you, it will be on your profile. So important for you to make sure you're up to date, you're checking your profile, and that you have our school code 001139 listed on your account.
And just to give timelines too for Cal Grant and Middle Class Scholarship, as it says on this table. So for Cal Grant, we receive rosters regularly. So now through August, you should be able to see the Cal Grant if everything is done on web grants. And then for Middle Class Scholarship, we do not start adding this information until September or October.
Thank you, Riley.
All right, we'll just give it a minute or two more for any last minute questions. Before we go, Dilly, do you want to just go over our contact information in case they have any additional questions?
Yes, of course. So you can contact our office in either of these methods by phone, 562-985-5471, option number 4. You can also submit a ticket or ask LB, the chatbot, for additional guidance. And lastly, we have in-person options available for meeting with counselors.
Okay, awesome. I think we are good. So if you would like to stop sharing your screen, I think I can take it over very quickly. Perfect. Well, thank you so much to our financial aid and scholarships team for coming in and talking with you all this afternoon. It's really great to hear about, the different ways that your students can afford college, and the different ways that we have aid to support your students. So hopefully you found this information helpful. And if not, again, you could always reach out to their office. They're located on the first floor of Bratman Hall, as well as you can call the phone number and look them up online. So they'll have all that information. Just to reiterate a lot of the things that are in the chat, folks, this session was recorded and it will be posted on our My CSULB, the Parent and Family YouTube page, which I'm going to send a few different links in the chat right now, and I'll talk about each one of these just a little bit. Awesome. So I just put a couple of things in the chat. For our one of the bottom one is our YouTube account. So CSULB Parent and Family YouTube page will have all of these recordings for our Beach Connection session, including this one. So you could access those at a later time if you'd like. We also have our Beach Family newsletter. So that is our free bi-weekly newsletter that we send to parents and family members that wish to stay involved and up to date on everything CSULB related. And it's got very important things for parents and families. So please register for that. It is completely free. And it's a really great resource for you all to stay connected. And if you have not already, we would really urge you to attend a parent and family orientation session. These happen every day of the summer alongside your student's SOAR experience. So you could register for that and you'll get a lot more information about what we have on campus for parents and family members and how we support your students. So other than that, that is all that we have. So I just want to again thank you so much to our financial aid team and thank you for everybody that joined. But we will now go ahead and end the session. So thank you all for joining and go Beach.
Thank you.
Thank you.